joining the Writers Guild of America. It is the first time they've been on strike in 26 years. Let's go to our panel. Michael Imhotep, your question first for Yvette.
Hello, Yvette. Thanks for coming on. Also, great interview with Joanne Reed. I've been following this, and one of the things that I'm hearing is that one of the things that the actors and screenwriters are fighting for is a greater piece of the pie when it comes to content that's on the streaming services now, because the way the contracts are, the way the payouts are when it comes to streaming is entirely different than it was traditionally. Can you give us more insight into that? And also, a lot of the streaming companies are saying, maybe like Peacock and some of the other streaming companies are saying they're not making a profit as well. Can you talk about that, please?
Yeah. Well, first of all, everyone saw how great Netflix was doing, and everyone raced into the streaming landscape before they knew how to do it their way. So there are probably a few that are not making a lot of money, but that's not all of them. That's first. Second, what happens with our contracts is that the producers come up with a new way to make money. Maybe back in the day it was DVD, then it was streaming, and now it's AI. And what they do in the contract negotiation is they go, DVD, I don't know if it's going to do anything, right? So they tell you that in the negotiation. You go, okay, well, for the first 3 years, we'll give you, you can pay us less than you would pay us for network, because we don't know what this streaming is going to do or what this DVD is going to do or what this AI is going to do. Forgetting that they absolutely know that it's going to be lucrative, because they wouldn't chase anything unless they know there's money there, right? So we fall for it, and we've fallen for it a few times. So what we realize now is they're trying to do the same thing with AI. Now, what happened with streaming is that they said, well, we don't know if it's going to be profitable, so let's pay you a little bit less than we would have paid you. Well, that fee structure is now set in steel, right? So now every year, as they made, some of these streamers have made record profits, we're still getting 10 cents on the dollar or whatever the number is. I don't know what the exact number is, but we're getting a lot less than what we should be getting. And then they go, well, you agreed to it, so I don't know, going back and changing it now. So now that we've learned that that's how they do it, we're like, we're not going to let you do that this time. We know that AI is going to make you a lot of money somehow. So we need something in place now to protect us, to make sure that we don't do what was floated, where they wanted background actors to have their entire body scanned, likeness, face, all of it, which means they now own that person's entire likeness, and they can plug that person in crowd scenes or anywhere else they want to in perpetuity. Their children's kids will be dead, and they still will see grandma walking around carrying a Target bag in some show. That's ridiculous. And they want to pay them the day rate. So want to pay you once and use you forever. And this is the thing. There are certain people that have reached a level of their career where they can negotiate out of that. But again, it's not okay. I'm not okay that I can negotiate it if the person starting in this industry or the person that hasn't made it to my level can't negotiate their way out of it. Because what they'll tell them is, well, we don't really need you. We'll get somebody else. And then there'll be somebody else that will say yes. You see what I mean? Like they have you against the barrel when you haven't become a name or you haven't become famous in some way. And we want to make sure the contracts protect everybody, not just the people that can negotiate their way out of these little traps.
And the point there you make, Yvette, there when you talk about the contracts, when they are locked, they are going to hold you to that contract.
Absolutely.
I just finished watching on Netflix the documentary, the docuseries on American Gladiators. And they talked about on that show where the folks who were the gladiators and how they were getting $500 a show. They were incurring injuries. They had a national tour, 120 city tour. They were selling toys, merchandise, all sort of stuff. And the gladiators were like, yo, we make the show. And Sam Goldwyn, who they were doing the show, they were like, absolutely not. We are not renegotiating. You signed the contract, that's what you get. And they fired some of the original gladiators. And that's how they wrote. So this whole idea, so when somebody tells you, no, just go ahead and sign, we can take a look at it later. No.
Don't do it.
You better get it in writing, because and then they're going to negotiate downward from that deal in the next deal.
Yep. And this is the thing, too, that I don't know that people, I started out as a legal secretary. I don't know if people know that, but I was a legal secretary by trade before I became an actor. What people don't understand is that there's no such thing as boilerplate. or this is just what we do. They'll say that. Everything in a contract can be negotiated. Every single thing. So don't fall for, well, this is just how we do it. No, we're going to do it different in this one. We're going to change this for me. And I think people don't have the understanding that they can do that. And sometimes the business affairs offices are so strong. Well, you know, we got to get it today. If we don't get it today, breathe and get the deal that is right for you. And that's if you're able to. If you've reached a point in your career where you can. There are a lot of people that can't do it. They're just not at the place where they can do it yet. And again, that's why unions are there. Shirley Ralph said something.
But Yvette, even if you're a big name, Don Cheadle talked about this here. I forgot one of the. I guess it was one of those Marvel, whatever the hell. Mm-hmm. And he at his child's birthday, and they were like, "You got an hour."
That's what it's like.
I got an hour, and he was like, "This is Don Cheadle, Academy Award nominee," and it was like, "Okay, fine, it's your daughter's birthday, fine. We're like, we'll give you 2, but we need an answer," and he had no choice. But to say yes, because they were literally like, we will move on. And remember, that was a role where he replaced Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard, yeah. And this is the thing, too, though. I believe in this in regards to contracts. And you can't do it all the time, but sometimes the no is very powerful. You know, if you got an hour to do it, then that means you ain't got nobody else either. And whoever you're going to go to next going to have 30 minutes, and they might not say yes either, so you actually need me. So I'm going to take this 5 hours to figure out if this is the right deal for me. Right. So I get it. Like it's tough. It's tough. And that's why it's important to make sure that as unions, we fight so that people don't have to fight so hard. But yeah, it happens every day.